depth as well.
Yeah, well, we do have some gameplay here. I know you're going to kind of tell us a little bit about the game mechanics as we go into a match, right?
Yeah, so as you can see, you know, we're starting off a match in our game. Magico is what you use to cast your cards, and one of the cool things about our game is that it's split into 2 lanes. So rather than every card going onto a battlefield that every other card can interact with, you make a choice about which lane that you want to play a card into. And the reason for that is there's a lot of games where somebody plays out one crazy good card and you really can't play anything out because that card's just going to kill it. Well, now if they play that crazy good card, it may be in the lane that's on the right, you can start to play all your cards on the left and avoid it, or, you know, wait till you have some way of dealing with it. So it avoids this phenomenon of one card hits the battlefield and just completely dominates the game where you can't deal with it. The lane mechanic kind of allows you to move around that, and then there's also the ability to have conditions for each lane. So what you're seeing here in this match is the standard lane conditions, which is the left one doesn't have one. It's a no rules lane. The right lane is what's called a shadow lane, which means any card that you play there can't be attacked by any creatures until your next turn. So you sort of have a safe zone where you can play something and your opponent might be able to cast a spell that destroys it or does damage to it, but none of the creatures in that lane that your opponent controls are going to be able to attack it. So you have a little bit of time to be able to put some stuff out without worrying about it being destroyed right away. And again, it's the interesting mechanic of, do I want to play my creatures over in this lane where maybe it's safe for a little bit, or do I want to get over in this other lane because I want to deal with or interact with what my opponent's doing? And then this is a direct damage, direct attack game, so you can see when you go to attack, you have the ability to attack either your opponent's cards, like I have to here because I've got to deal with this guard card that has to be attacked first, or you can deal damage directly to the opponent. And you both start at 30 life, but you notice the little blue runes, the little gems that go around, those are set every 5 points of health. So every time you take 5 damage, you're going to break one of those runes and you're going to get to draw a card. So the idea is, once again, in a lot of games, one person gets ahead and they stay ahead and the other person just has no ability to catch up. You're just sort of getting kicked around and you're basically almost there watching while this other person kills you. When you start doing enough damage to the opponent, they're going to get to draw cards that may allow them to get back into the game. If you're taking a bunch of damage, you're going to start to draw cards that are going to allow you to figure out, how do I get back into this game? How do I, you know, slow my opponent down? One of the ways that you do that is you'll notice some of these cards have the word prophecy written on them. And what that means is when a card with prophecy is on the top of your deck, if a rune gets destroyed, you draw that card, you get to play it for free on your opponent's turn. So you're getting to play free creatures, you're getting to play free spells that once again are going to help you get some more stuff on the board to catch up, or maybe deal damage to a thing that lets you get rid of it right away. So it's another mechanic. You know, we were talking about different levels of difficulty. The folks who are really good at these things are going to figure out all kinds of interesting ways to play with these and take advantage of them. But folks who don't know what they're doing, it's almost designed to say, we're going to help you out as you're getting beat up or losing life to stay in the game and to kind of have a chance to win. And it's one of those things that even, you know, you're at 30 life and she's at 4, that the match isn't over because you have the ability to play a bunch of extra cards you've gotten to stabilize. And it's been a lot of fun over in the booth watching folks who are just like, oh, I think I'm dead here. I'm like, no, like, you're down by 25 life, but you can actually win if you do this and do this in these great swingy games where it's never really over until it's over. I think folks have really enjoyed and embraced that concept.
So it's about not getting disheartened.
Yeah, exactly. It's about you know, the basic mechanics of it. Like, I drag a card, I drop it in a lane. If I want to attack something, I attack it. Like, it's pretty easy to sort of grasp and understand, but then you figure out all of these interactions and ways to take advantage of the different decks that you can build.
I was going to just interrupt you. I really like that you decided to do a campaign along with this, because that's really going to familiarize the people who've been playing the franchise for that long. How long is the campaign? Because let's say I just want to get started and I'm like antsy and I just want to go in there. Is it lengthy?
It's a couple hours long. Yeah, you get a pretty healthy dose of matches to play, and all along the way you're unlocking rewards. And then again, you get some really cool like scenarios that get thrown at you. So for example, in one of them, your band of adventurers that you're sort of gathering up and moving through this campaign with get jumped by the side of the road by a bunch of wolves. and you have this really interesting match where both of the lanes are shadow lanes, so it's like the wolves are coming out of the mist, and it's kind of tough to deal with them. And then one of the things, if you know the Elder Scrolls, which I know you guys do, a big thing for us is player choice, right? You getting to kind of decide who you want to be and how you want to play. So at the end of that match, the story continues, and they're talking about after the battle, and they finish off the wolves, they found a wolf pup, and they ask, well, what did you decide to do with the wolf pup? And a choice pops up, and it tells you that you can either choose to kill the wolf pup, and you unlock a certain card. I know it's horrifying. Nobody wants to kill the wolf pup. Or you can spare the wolf pup, and you get a different card to add to your deck. Now, either of those cards you can get in PAX or find in other ways, but as you're playing through, you get to make a choice as part of the story about what did you do, and then you're adding that card to your deck that does, both of them do something very different. Again, allowing the player to kind of decide as they're playing through this campaign what kind of cards are of interest to them. Even simple stuff like you notice the avatars for both players. We have avatars for all 10 races in the game, and the avatars in our game don't have powers. We don't do like hero powers, but what they do is based on the race that you pick, you unlock as a reward cards of that type for your decks. Again,
of that like character.
Right. So like if you pick the Argonian, which I always do, you're more likely to unlock Argonian cards as rewards at a certain point, which have a certain play style, like they fit in certain kinds of deck. Argonians are usually guys that have like poison tip things, or they are helping ramp you up into more magicka so you can cast bigger things more quickly. Like stealthy, sneaky, Argonian-y. And you can change. That's a real word. So you can change even your avatar as you're playing. If you decide you want to unlock more cards of like the Nords or the Red Guards, that you change your avatar and you start unlocking those cards. So it's again another way for folks to inject their own choices into the game, how they're playing it, the kind of rewards that they're unlocking, what kind of decks they want to put together.